Hello and welcome back to another episode of the TF Soccer Training Podcast, where we are committed to helping your player grow on and off the field. I'm your host, Coach Taylor, and I'm excited to have you join us today. If you have not already, make sure to please rate, review, and subscribe to us on wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. It helps out a lot. Last week, we talked about how to support your player after an injury. This week, we're talking about how to talk to your player about earning your playing time. This is something that's obviously super important and obviously something I see. And a lot of times parents come to me and ask me, what can I do? How do I approach the coach? And I think I have a couple of good tips on how to deal with that. So want to get into that. But first, we're going to take a quick break. Today's episode is brought to you by my Off the Field resource guide. These are the resources that I use to help players in our in-person and our mental training programs. So if you are looking to help your player grow their mindset or grow their mentality, these are the resources that I use to help mentor the players in our program. So if you want to go ahead and check those out and download that free guide, go ahead. It's at www.tfsoccertraining.com/mindset. Okay, back to the show. All right, welcome back from the break. Again, playing time, it's a tricky one. It's a very tricky one for parents. And obviously, you don't want to see your child sit on the bench. You didn't come out to the game to watch your player sit on their bench and do whatever. And I do want to say this. I understand you think your player is the best one. And they may be, or they may not be. But in your mind, that's all that matters. They're the best one. They deserve playing times. And I want to do full disclosure. I'm not a parent. I haven't seen it from your guys' perspective yet, but I can see it from the coach's perspective. I can see it. I'm not that far removed from the player's perspective. And playing time is a hard one. It's a tricky one because it is not something that once you get past a certain age that you're just going to be given and you're just going to earn it. So it is, but this is a learning experience. And I want your child to be able to learn from this. I want your player to be able to learn from being able to play, right? Or being able to not play. So you're in this situation. Your player comes to you and they say, hey, I'm not playing. This is not fair. They start complaining about not being able to get into the game. You're the parent. How do you respond? So the first thing I would say is talk to your coach and have your player go with you. Have your player ask your coach, what can I do to earn more playing time? It shouldn't be, I should be playing. I work so hard. I'm better than so-and-so. I'm more skilled than so-and-so. I score more goals in practice. I guarantee you that the coach is seeing all this stuff, but they also see their habits, and there's a disconnect, and there's some reason that the coach is not putting them in. And I guarantee you it's not like a personality thing. It's not like, oh, my coach hates me, or your coach hates your player. The coach wants to win. The coach wants players who are going to give them the best chance to win. So they're not going to, again, they're going to look at those things, but they're also going to look at the habits. What is your player doing? What are they bringing to the table? And, if you don't bring what they need in practice, then how are they going to be able to trust you when you're in the game? The second thing I would ask is you as a parent to ask your player, have you been putting yourself in a position to play? And this reminds me of several stories, but I'll start with this one. And, it was in one of those Facebook parent groups. And, essentially the daughter came to a parent related this story where a daughter came to her mom and she was complaining about playing time. And the mother asked her, well, have you earned your playing time? And the mother was watching for the last few practices how the player would, when they would go to water breaks, complain on how hot it was, or how long practice was lasting, or how dumb the drills were, and how the player would kind of lounge and talk over the coach or talk to friends when the coach was explaining the drills, or allowing players to cut ahead of her when they were doing shooting drills or whatever. And essentially, she got her player to realize that This is on you. You haven't what habits, what attitude, what are you doing to earn your playing time? And you know, you're not doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it at practice. So why is a coach going to gift you playing time? In the long term, that coach is doing you a disservice. And I really do applaud that parent, because it's so easy to it's natural to become to kind of shelter and to put your child as like, no, they're not doing anything wrong. I see how hard they work. I see it, like they deserve to play. But she said, listen, what are their habits? What is it that they're learning? And she's teaching her child that there are consequences for what you do. And if you don't bring the right attitude or you don't bring the right effort, then you're not going to earn the playing time. I want to share this quote because I thought it was really interesting. I saw it. It's from Reformed Sports Parents. He put a video out, I think maybe a video, or maybe it was like just like a little Instagram or Twitter post, or it was just he put out a little tweet. Oh man, I'm sounding super old. But essentially, he said, sports parents, you're legit doing your kids a major favor, teaching them they have to earn starting positions, earn good grades, earn money, all on their own. When they get to college and they see other kids partying and flunking out, they will thank you for holding them accountable. And that's what we want to learn. That's what we want our kids to learn from sports. We want them to understand that nothing's going to be given to them. You have to be accountable for the work that you put in. And if you're not responsible for it, then you're not going to earn starting time. You're not going to earn playing time. You have to earn these things. And I chuckle a little bit because I say that I was the slowest learner for these things. So I'll give you guys two personal stories here. Number one was I was in fourth grade, or maybe I was even in a little bit younger, but it was one of my first or second teams playing club soccer. And I remember for whatever reason, I didn't turn in an assignment for school. And I got a bad grade on this assignment, or I turned it in late, or whatever happened. And so my mom was like, well, you can't play in the game tonight. You're not playing because you got to do your homework. And she's like, you're going to tell your coach. I said, oh no, please don't make me do that. Please don't make me go to my coach and force me to not play. And she was like, nope, you got to do it. So she drove me up. He owned like a car cleaning company or something like that. And I remember like begging for her not to make me get out of the car. And she opened the door and told me to get out. and to show him, I had a slip of paper where I had that bad grade on it, and forced me to take it in to him and go up to him and have him to tell him. And I remember I walk up to the counter, and there's like this young lady working behind, and I was like, can I talk to Coach Lay? And he comes out, he's like, oh, what's up, man? What's going on? And then I just told him like, hey, I can't play in the game. I'm like shaking. Like I didn't do my work and I'm not going to be able to play. And he's like, okay, I understand. And so he had to sign the paper. So my mom knew that I had went in and talked to him, and he signed it. I went back out, and it taught me a lesson. It taught me a lesson at a young age. Like as terrifying as it was, as awful as it made me look and made me feel, like, oh, I can't believe I'm letting my teammates down and letting people look bad at it. It makes me look bad. I learned, like, hey, you have to take care of business. You have to earn. Soccer is not a right. It's not something that is freely given. It's a privilege. And so you have to go out there and earn it, which I learned that lesson at a young age. And so that was fourth grade. And so I'm kind of upset and regret that it took me so long to learn this next one. I was a senior in high school, and, I didn't, we had a good team, we're doing pretty well. And it was like right before playoffs started. And for whatever reason, I wasn't turning in my assignments again. I didn't turn in my assignments. Talk about a slow learner to the same lesson, but I didn't turn in my assignments. And for my English class, which is very ironic because I ended up being an English major. But he, you know, of course it came back to my coach, and I had to tell my teammates, had to tell my coach that I wasn't playing. And that one was extremely hard to deal with. It was so difficult because I then watched my teammates do extremely well in the playoffs and make it all the way to the state tournament. And it was one of those things where I wish, of course, I was a part of that, and seeing them and helping the team out in playoffs. But it just kind of reminded me of that same lesson, especially going right into college. Like, you have to earn it. Nothing's going to be given. This is a privilege to play. And it was, again, extremely difficult. And I can look back and chuckle on it now, but it taught me a valuable lesson. And the lesson is you have to earn it. And that's what you're trying to tell your players. You want them to learn. You have to earn this, right? This is getting them ready. This is getting your player ready for life. It's getting them ready to take responsibility, to understand that this journey is a tough one, and it's not always going to be it's not always going to be an easy road, but you're going to have to stay on the path, and you're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. So again, I would say this, my conclusion is, when your player comes to you and they're complaining and they're saying, it's not fair, I'm not playing, what can I do? I'm working really hard. Number one, ask their coach. Go to their coach and ask them. I have them go to their coach, and you go there with them if they're younger, right? When they're younger, you need to be there to kind of help them, hold them responsible. But ask their coach, what can they do, or what can I do to earn playing time if you're the player, or what can they do to earn playing time? And then number two is ask them, what are your habits? Have them help to self-reflect on what it is that they're doing, because they may feel like they're doing what they need to do, but you may see from the sideline, okay, they're not actually doing what they need to do. That's pretty much today's show. I want to say thank you for checking it out. Go ahead, make sure to share this show if you found this interesting or you found this beneficial in any way. Love to be able to continue to try to help more parents with this. And then second of all, go ahead, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to hear your feedback, or maybe your experience with helping your player to be able to learn and grow from earning playing time and what they need to do. So thanks again for checking us out. Until next time, please take care.